Last question is, it wasn't a question, it was just shin splints. So I'm gonna assume the person has questions about shin splints. Rather than going down into what is shin splints, what causes shin splints, all of that and boring you to death, we can keep this super simple. A lot of times, shin splints come about one of two reasons. Number one is that you're just running in a non-efficient way. And so you're placing too much force or tension or whatever you may say on your shins. There's a lot of phenomenal coaches out there who can assess your running mechanics, your gait, and there have been a lot of coaches who have been able to show some great correlation between individual A is running this way and is getting shin splints. Individual B is running this way and is not getting shin splints. And if I get individual A to run a different way, their shin splints are either minimized or completely go away. And so I do believe there's a lot of validity behind making sure that you're just running, quote, correctly. Why I don't like that approach, so there's some good and now some bad, is that then individuals wind up getting a little too obsessive compulsive with how they run, and they think that the way they run is the only thing that matters. Fun little side here, I forget the amount of coaches, but they took a bunch of these elite level distance coaches and they showed them film of dozens and dozens and dozens of distance runners. And they had these coaches rate how good of a runner this individual was just based on looking at how they ran. And the coaches completely bombed out, meaning that some of the athletes who were said to have absolute perfect form were not that great at running, and some athletes where the coaches said this individual just is terrible at running wound up being a world-class level distance runner. So understand that form can help, but form isn't everything. What I believe probably is going to lead to either the cause or the absence of shin splints even more is managing your volume. And so let's look at super long distance. It won't be runners, it's cyclists. The study was done on cyclists. And when in their calendar year do they wind up with the most amount of injuries? It was immediately after their off season. And so why does this occur? One possibility is that you have these world-class long-distance cyclists who are putting in hundreds and hundreds of miles a week during their season. They go into their off-season or their post-season, their downtime, where they probably won't even step on a bike for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and if they do, it's very low end. And they come back and they start out on their first week of 50 miles a week. And what they're saying is, well, this is only 50% of what I was used to. And all that might be true, it's a 500% increase from what was just occurring. And so remember that although you're a seasoned veteran, if you're a runner or you're an athlete who participates in sport year-round, you have to look at what you just came off of, not what you've been used to across your many years of athletics. And so I believe that athletes who are getting shin splints is because they're trying to ramp up their training way too quickly. We see a good rule of thumb, especially for longer distance individuals, is roughly about a 10% increase across 1 or 2 weeks in your volume. This does not amount to a whole lot of increase versus how many of us might start out that first run I go on, I go for a mile, feels fantastic, I feel great. And then the next day I say, well, I did 1 mile easy, I'm gonna go for 2 miles. You've just doubled your workload. And then 2 miles felt great, I'm gonna try for a 5K. So start slow in terms of the amount that you're doing and then build slowly. Don't rush into things. Don't set yourself up for failure in terms of my season's in 2 weeks and I have to get all of my sprint training in. Don't try to go and train for a full marathon in a month. It won't end well, right? We want to give ourselves time. So if you are suffering from shin splints, Shameless plug, hire a coach who knows what they're talking about. Contact myself or another coach here at Powertrain. We can definitely look into things like what it looks like when you run, when you're experiencing shin splints. Is it all the time or is it only sometimes? But some low-hanging fruit, check your shoes. Are you running with the right pair of shoes? See what it looks like when you run. Are you running really clamped up and really hard? Do you just need to relax a little bit? And then the last thing is ask yourself, what type of surface are you running on? If you went from no running to all of a sudden running up and down a basketball court, little give, very unforgiving, chances are that can be a little more of an indicator as to why you're experiencing shin splints than if someone were out running on soft padded grass. So hope I answered your questions. If you guys have any other questions, please make sure either to reach out via our website or email, or even better, so other people can chime in, leave them in a comment below. Look forward to hearing more from you guys.